You finally realized your energy is rare. The room was never the same after you entered. There comes a moment in the path of remembrance when you stop asking, why do people react to me like this? Why do I affect spaces without trying? Why do some feel comfort in my presence while others grow unsettled? Why do certain encounters seem to shift people even when I said very little? And instead, you finally understand. Your energy is rare. Not rare because you are better than anyone. Not rare because you need to stand above others. But rare because what you carry is ancient, catalytic, and difficult to imitate. Your energy does not merely enter a room. It changes the chemistry of the room. It reveals. It amplifies. It stirs. It softens. It unsettles. It awakens. This is why your presence has often been misunderstood. Because not everyone knows what to do when something ancient enters a modern space. Not everyone knows how to sit with a frequency that reminds them of what they have forgotten. Not everyone knows how to remain comfortable when your energy begins quietly activating what has been dormant inside them. And yet, this is part of your path. You were never sent only to fit in. You were sent to shift. Sometimes that shift looks like healing. Sometimes it looks like confrontation. Sometimes it looks like deep inspiration. Sometimes it looks like discomfort, because growth often begins where illusion can no longer stay intact. You must understand this. Your energy was never ordinary. It has always carried a signature, an ancient, alchemic signature, a frequency that remembers, a current that recalibrates, a light that does not merely shine, it transmutes. And now, after enough experiences, enough strange reactions, enough rooms transformed without explanation, you finally realize it. Your energy is rare, and it has returned for a reason. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below so we know you're here and connected to Source. You are not imagining your impact. For a long time, you may have tried to downplay it. You may have called it coincidence. You may have tried to make yourself smaller to avoid feeling the weight of what you carry. You may have assumed you were reading too much into things whenever a room changed after you arrived or a conversation deepened simply because you were present. But no, you are not imagining it. Some people walk into spaces and their presence blends in. Others enter and the emotional temperature changes immediately. You are the latter. People may suddenly become more honest around you. They may feel exposed without understanding why. They may feel peace settle over them, or agitation rise within them, because your presence acts like a mirror to whatever is already there. This is one of the clearest signs of a rare energy signature. You do not merely participate in environments, you alter them. The field responds to you, not because of performance, not because of force, not because you are demanding attention, but because your energy carries information, ancient information. And information changes systems. This is why some people feel soothed in your presence. It is why others suddenly confess things, why some become inspired, why others become uncomfortable or reactive. A rare energy does not allow a room to remain exactly as it was. It begins transmuting the atmosphere immediately. This is not an ego statement. It is simply a recognition of function. The sun does not apologize for illuminating. Fire does not apologize for warming or revealing. And your energy does not need to apologize for what it naturally activates. The sooner you accept the impact you have, the less you will question yourself when others respond strongly to your presence. You are not too much. You are a catalyst, and catalysts are rarely neutral. Your signature is ancient. There is a difference between charisma and energetic signature. Charisma can be learned. Presence can be enhanced. Confidence can be practiced. But energetic signature, that is deeper. That is the soul's archive made felt. Your signature is not just a personality trait. It is an ancient coding. It is the accumulation of lifetimes of learning, remembering, losing, rebuilding, serving, breaking, healing, and returning. This is why your energy often feels older than your age, why you have carried gravity in your spirit even when others expected lightness, why you have felt like a witness to things you were never explicitly taught, why some places or interactions feel strangely familiar, as though your body remembers before your mind does. Because your energy does remember. It remembers other rooms, other ages, other worlds, other assignments, other initiations. And now that signature has returned, not randomly, not casually, but in divine timing. It has returned because this era requires certain frequencies to re-enter the collective field. Frequencies that can stabilize chaos without absorbing it, reveal distortion without becoming distortion, hold compassion without collapsing into saviorhood, trigger awakening without needing to force it. Your signature is rare because it is ancient, and ancient energy does not behave like borrowed modern noise. It carries depth, it carries memory, it carries codes that awaken others even when you do not intend to teach anything at all. This is why your life may have often felt heavier than it looked on paper. Why your path has not always been simple. Why your body, your relationships, and your choices have all gone through so many initiations. Ancient energy must be strong enough to pass through the present era without forgetting itself. And that strength is what you have been building all along. You trigger what is sleeping in others. One of the hardest things for the chosen to understand is this. Not every difficult reaction you receive is a sign that you did something wrong. Sometimes people react strongly to you because your energy touches what they have not yet faced. Your presence triggers what is sleeping. It may trigger someone's desire to awaken. It may trigger someone's hidden grief. It may trigger someone's hunger for purpose. It may trigger someone's shadow, envy, or resistance because your authenticity exposes the places where they are still fragmented. This is why some people love you instantly and others resist you before they even know you. Your energy begins the work before introductions are complete. And again, this is not because you are trying. It is because catalysts catalyze. A lit flame does not decide whether moths will circle it. A tuning fork does not choose whether another object will begin to vibrate in resonance. A rare signature does not control the reactions it activates. It simply carries its frequency honestly. The chosen often make the mistake of taking full responsibility for every reaction around them. But part of your maturity is learning this. You are responsible for your intention, your integrity, and your conduct. You are not responsible for the unresolved material your presence stirs in others. If your energy inspires growth, beautiful. If your energy reveals someone's wounds, that is data too. If your energy activates discomfort that pushes someone toward truth, that too has purpose. This is why every encounter and experience has meaning. Nothing is random. Some people meet you to be comforted. Some meet you to be challenged. Some meet you to remember. Some meet you to confront the very thing they keep avoiding. And often, They do not even realize why the interaction felt so significant. But your spirit knows you were part of the orchestration. Every encounter is data, every experience an initiation. The chosen eventually stop viewing life as a collection of random interactions. They begin seeing the precision in it, the meeting that came at the exact right moment, the person who mirrored a wound you needed to recognize, the stranger who spoke one sentence that changed the course of your week, the relationship that hurt, but in hurting, revealed the pattern that had to end, the disappointment that redirected you toward your actual path. Everything carries data, and the chosen are here not just to feel life, but to learn from the energetic data embedded in it. This is why pain, though never pleasant, is not meaningless. It marks contrast. It reveals boundaries. It shows where a false belief is still running. It exposes attachments, habits, and karmic loops. When you start seeing experience as information rather than punishment, your whole relationship to life changes. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this teaching me about my frequency, my patterns, my alignment?" This is a more sovereign question, a rarer question, because data can be used. Pain alone paralyzes, but data empowers. You begin to realize that many of the most difficult experiences were not sent to break you, but to increase your discernment. That many of the most painful interactions were initiations disguised as disappointment. That every cycle you survived gave your energy more texture, more precision, more depth. And now, because you actually learned, your presence carries even more potency. You do not just speak from theory, you transmit from lived experience. That is why your energy reaches people, because it is not shallow, it has traveled. You carry an alchemic field. There are some energies that absorb, and there are some energies that transmute. You, chosen one, are learning that yours is the second. An alchemic field does not merely take in what is around it. It changes the composition. This is why what is projected at you does not always stay as it was sent. Negativity enters your field and loses momentum. Envy arrives and reveals itself too quickly to take root. Distortion comes near and often begins collapsing under the weight of your clarity, not because nothing touches you, but because your field has been trained to transmute. Through suffering, you learned how to hold tension without immediately becoming it. Through betrayal, you learned discernment instead of permanent bitterness. Through darkness, you developed sight instead of blindness. That is alchemy. It is not the absence of challenge. It is the ability to metabolize challenge into wisdom. Your auric field has been strengthened by every honest piece of inner work you have done. Every cycle you broke, every shadow you faced, every boundary you honored, every truth you stopped avoiding. This is why certain attacks do not penetrate the way others expect. It is not because you are untouchable in some dramatic sense. It is because your signature is too integrated to be easily destabilized. Ancient alchemic energy does not make you invincible. It makes you harder to corrupt, harder to confuse, harder to pull into frequencies you have already outgrown. And that matters greatly in this era, because many people are not losing themselves through one major event. They are losing themselves through constant subtle distortion. But your field recognizes distortion quickly, and what it recognizes, it can alchemize. Your light attracts like a flame to a moth. Rare energy always attracts. This is one of the beauties and one of the burdens. People feel you before they understand you. They are drawn in without fully knowing why. They may want your peace, your warmth, your truth, your steadiness, your codes. Some come because they are ready to remember. Some come because they are ready to be healed. Some come because they are fascinated by what you carry. Some come because they want access to the very fire they have not yet built inside themselves. This is why discernment remains essential. Because not everyone drawn to your light is aligned with your path. A flame attracts many things, but not everything attracted belongs near the center. The chosen must learn to distinguish between those who are inspired by your light, those who are dependent on it, those who honor it, those who want to consume it, those who are ready to stand beside it, those who only want to warm themselves without doing their own inner work. This is where rarity requires responsibility. You cannot give everything away simply because you can. You cannot let every moth land simply because they are drawn. Your energy is rare enough that access must be sacred. Otherwise, what is medicine can become depletion. And yet, do not dim. Do not make yourself smaller because you notice the attention. The answer to being a flame is not extinguishing yourself. It is learning how to burn wisely. You are here to assist, support, and awaken. Your role is not to save everyone. Let that be clear. Rare energy does not mean endless availability. Ancient signature does not mean self-sacrifice as identity. Catalytic presence does not mean you are meant to carry every wound you can sense. You are here to assist, to support, to awaken. But awakening is not the same as rescuing. You may trigger someone into a breakthrough. You may catalyze someone's realization. You may become the mirror that helps someone remember their own soul. But their path remains theirs. Your job is not to drag them across it. Your job is to remain true enough that your energy continues to serve as a clean transmission. This requires boundaries, rest, self-honesty, continual refinement, because the clearer your channel, the more powerful your impact. And your impact does not always need words. Sometimes your greatest service is simply being fully yourself in a world that has forgotten how to live honestly. That alone awakens people. That alone begins catalysis. That alone changes rooms, conversations, relationships, and destinies. This is why your mission matters, because the world does not only need louder voices, it needs rarer frequencies, and you are one of them. The return of the rare, chosen one. You finally realized your energy is rare, not because someone crowned you, not because you demanded to be seen, not because you needed to feel superior. You realized it because your life kept proving it. The rooms changed, the people shifted, the conversations deepened, the mirrors appeared, the awakenings followed. You have seen too much now to pretend your presence is ordinary. Your signature is ancient. Your field is alchemic. Your impact is real. You were not sent here to be noise. You were sent here to be frequency, to assist, to support, to catalyze, to remind, to reveal, to awaken. And yes, some will feel peace around you. Some will feel exposure. Some will feel inspiration. Some will feel their shadows rise. Let that be what it is. Because a rare energy does not exist to make everyone comfortable. It exists to make truth harder to ignore. So do not shrink what you carry. Do not downplay your effect. Do not apologize for the light, the depth, the intensity, or the clarity of your presence. You have returned for a reason, and the reason is not small. The world is feeling your field even now. The people meant to awaken through your presence are already being stirred. The rooms you enter are already being changed. So stand steady, stay clear, protect your field, honor your rarity, because what you carry is not random, it is remembered. And now, so are you. Ancient One, we now ask you, have you ever downplayed your presence or impact to make others feel more comfortable? Please be sure to comment below, like and subscribe to stay aligned and connected to Source.